Good. You know it? 10 minutes? Go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone. Right, so it's a pitch, so we have to explain what we are trying to solve. It's very much about the technology, a new kind of blockchain, but I think it's a blockchain that solves the problem of Jean Lassalle, and that is a problem that is very well known. We want to use blockchain for sustainable project as long as the blockchain is sustainable, right? Otherwise, it doesn't really make sense to use a technology that is consuming or producing more environmental impact than the project or the solution we're trying to bring. And this actually solution project that we are presenting today is the result of that question that was raised to us by the European Investment Bank, where they wanted to issue a green bond, but on a green blockchain, whatever that meant at that time. And therefore we invented a new consensus mechanism that we call the proof of climate awareness, and don't worry, I'll explain where I come from, that actually works by incentivizing the actors of running the blockchain to improve the environmental impact of their IT system. So it goes the other way around as the Bitcoin system. And it's not moving with the sticker. Right, so how does it work? First of all, it's, let's say, a modification of the consensus of Ethereum. So we reuse 95% of what is already there. But what we do is typically we use the mechanism.
Go ahead.
Right.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
Please give him 30 extra seconds.
Time is running. Go ahead.
So typically, if you look at the consensus of Bitcoin, you have a competition of the nodes, which makes the nodes make emerge an IT system that is shared by everyone. But this competition is about bringing the biggest possible computation power onto the network. And we just changed the rules of the game. We said the competition is about reducing as much as possible the environmental impact of your IT system. And you are going to be better rewarded based and according to the quality of your IT system with regard to the impact on the environment. But how do we do that? We actually do that by having external and independent auditors processing and analyzing the IT system of the node through a very thorough and deep analysis of the system. So it's not self-declaration. And then also it brings the advantage of having the actual and real environmental impact of the blockchain available and publicly available to everyone. So it's not simply a PwC audit of the blockchain that you are going to do once in a while in order to try to demonstrate that you have a green blockchain. You actually have the real situation of the blockchain. Obviously, the nodes operators that are running that blockchain have to be rewarded. That's their business model, to earn some tokens. So they are going to be delivered tokens each and every block according to the quality of their IT system. So how do we do this environmental impact analysis? And you see, I'm not talking about carbon only, carbon emission. When we started discussing with green IT specialists, when we tried to design this solution, we very quickly realized that there was two dimensions that we needed to take into consideration. The first dimension is not simply look at the electricity consumption during the running of the node, because that's only one part of the consumption, that's only one part of the environmental impact. So we looked at what we call the life cycle assessment, which is a very standardized methodology to look at the impact on the climate from the extraction of the raw materials, and then to the running environment, and then also look into the recycling. That's the life cycle assessment. But also, the second dimension is not only looking at the impact of the CO2 emission, but also looking at the impact of the water consumption and the water pollution, the extraction also of the rare materials, and the primary energy consumption that you have to use to produce that equipment. So it's a very complex setup to analyze, right? It's not a very straightforward matrix. And to do that, we have to rely on very highly specialized specialists that are relying themselves on a multi-year work done by specialists through and stored in the system called NegaOctet database. So the specialists have designed, a methodology where specialized auditor will be going and auditing the node of the blockchain operators and are going to input themselves in the blockchain the result of that audit. And that will actually give the reward of the node. So, what's different from this blockchain compared to the other? Because I mostly talked about the ESG element, where obviously it has been designed for that, but also we want that blockchain to be mostly directed to corporates for projects that are going to run on blockchain pushed by institutions. And for that, we needed an environment where the corporates and the regulator have the capacity to know where things are going to be run. So all the node operators are going to be publicly known. Okay, so that brings, if you want, an extra layer of credibility. So we run on the standard, the Ethereum standard. We want the token that is running on that blockchain to be non-speculative because we want the cost of the gas to be actually the actual cost of the service of using the blockchain. And as a banking institution at the start, we didn't do that for raising money, right? So yeah, all these elements makes this blockchain much more preferable to use compared to the biggest competitors. Obviously, the adoption of that blockchain is not there yet. Probably, I guess that's why I'm here today. So, why do you want to operate a node? Well, the earlier adopters are going to earn more token than the others because the creation of the token follow a curve like the halving mechanism. And you can also want to participate as an auditor, as I was explaining, with your expertise of the LCA mechanism. I'm sure there are some people around the table that know what I'm talking about. And the blockchain is live since April, okay? So you can scan the QR code and see what's going on live on the network. And as you can see, or it's a bit small, but you can see that if you look at the actual metrics that are actually publicly available, you see that one node is approximately the impact of 7 mobile phones for the period of a year. So it's very, very small computation capacity, right? Doesn't need much. So first, it's very low consumption, and second, it's very transparent because you exactly know which node consumes what. So yeah, that's what we have to propose, and it's an open blockchain, typically. Thank you very much.
Awesome. 1 minute, 30. What do you need? What do you need? How can we help you?
Just join.
Join. How we join? Join the network. Okay.
So
scan.
you scan. You go on the GitHub network, the GitHub site. You post an issue to candidates as a node operator or as an auditor. You show interest. You participate to the communication around that network, and you say, "It's a great network. Let's join." We want to create a network effect simply by talking about it. We have no foundation for the moment. We have no money to run it because it doesn't need a lot of money.
You're getting less interesting for me. You say you have no money, but how much are we?
I need your money.
I need my money. Then
but the point is I don't need your money. I need you to spend money on it.
Oh, it's even worse.
No, because you're going to participate to something great.
Okay, let's see. Okay, any question in the room? It was clear for everybody? Okay, let me. Can you hear? I mean, just loud. Yeah?
Thank you. One thing is not 100% clear to me. Is this now, since you know the node, it needs to be audited, is this a permission blockchain or?
So, in the classification of the blockchain, it has been quite a difficult challenge to get that right. But according to the CSSF classification, it's a semi-permission blockchain, which means that To join as a node operator, so to process block, to create blocks, you have to be joining the consensus, and to join the consensus, you have to be accepted by the existing nodes with a decentralized governance. So you need half of the node to actually accept a new node, okay? But anyone can use the blockchain. As long as you have token to pay for transaction, you can use the blockchain. This is completely publicly available. So it's a semi-public or semi-private, if you want. But there is no central actor managing the governance, managing the software, managing the network. Okay, so it's not a consortium network either.
Okay. One last question.
Just to follow up on him, if I put some money and use it, what is it for me? As in, what's the business model?
So if you want to run a node, right, participate to the consensus, your business model is actually to earn more token that you can sell to those that are going to use the network to make their own project on it. So it's not a specific business case on blockchain. It's a blockchain, right? So it's the same business as running a node on any blockchain, but it's not speculative. Don't buy the token to hope for making money out of buying the token. The token is a utility token.
Awesome. Everybody has scanned. One question over there.
What is your climate impact score? How are you better than Solana, for example? Is there some quantitative
So,
measure we can look at?
starting with the existing setup, it's very low because we only have 4 nodes. So it's really, I mean, it's the equivalent. So 4 times, so it's a bit more than 2,000 kilograms of CO2. Okay, but that's because it's the very beginning of the network. But what's really important is that the nodes will have an incitation on finding a way to reduce the environmental impact. Because if they do not do that effort, then they will lose more and more token. Okay,
Awesome.
so that's the incentive.
Everybody has scanned?
Yes.
Liars. Yeah? Okay, good. Thank you so much, guys. A warm applause for Glenn. I'd like to invite on stage Kevin.